guys, so this is what if Aang or what if the Avatar was in Young Justice Part 2, guys. Now, guys, basically, after this video, basically, lately I've been kind of lacking. Views have been going down, but I don't really care, guys, because this makes me happy and it entertains you guys. So let's just get into it. Now, basically, after this video, I will be stopping what ifs, not for long, but about like 2 or 3 days, and basically just doing stop motions, action figure skits, and getting back onto my action figure and stop motion part of my channel, and actually expanding onto that and actually doing it, because in my description of my channel it says stop motions, and I haven't done stop motions since the beginning of this channel. I haven't done action figure skits since the beginning of this channel, so I'm going to be leaping on back to that type of stuff in my channel. So for the next couple weeks or this weekend, I'm going to be uploading strictly action figure content and trying to rank up my action figure followers and get them back on my channel. So hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's just dive right into it. After this video, the next what if I'm going to be making is going to be what if, what was it? Sorry, guys. It's going to be what if Deku had the Ultimatrix part, I think, 6, 7? Or what if, what was it? Or a different what if, a new what if I'm working on. What if Miles Morales was in Young Justice? Part 1, basically going to be a continuation of what if Spider-Man was in Young Justice. After I finish that series, that's going to eventually come in. Basically, guys, probably the next what if I'm going to be making is what if Spider-Man was in Young Justice Part 5 or 6, I think, or 4, and either a new Deku what if, either way. Let's just dive right into it, guys, and let's get started. I'll start our story off on episode 14, season 1. Basically, we start our story off somewhere in the city. Basically, us seeing pretty much was a woman walking her dog, and out of nowhere, some sort of grass or some sort of plant-like tentacle monster pretty much bursts out of the ground and starts to shock some sort of pheromone or some sort of gas, also using its tentacles or vines to basically move and break the cars around it, causing havoc all around. Basically, what happens is pretty much from, well, a very watchful eye, Poison Ivy and the Injustice League is watching this, led by, well, Vertigo. Vertigo is basically making a plan. Pretty much Joker, Poison Ivy, Black Adam, Atomic Skull, and Vertigo, and a couple others are in this team. After they introduce themselves, or after we see them, we get switched to the intro, and we get switched to the rest of the episode at Mount Justice, episode 1. Basically, what happened is pretty much Deku, Aang would have been training with Aqualad instead of Robin training with Aqualad. Aang would have been fighting against Aqualad and basically throwing kicks and punches, and him actually, well, kicking Aqualad in his core, hitting him backwards, and pretty much, well, getting a pretty solid hit. As we see Robin with Megan and Connor and Wolf walking back, we see pretty much Artemis and pretty much, well, Wally walk into this main training hall at Mount Justice. But we get told by Batman what's happening in Metropolis. Pretty much us seeing Superman, a couple other heroes, and multiple other Justice League members basically handling this whole situation, trying to figure out what's going on. Batman talks to them giving them the same, pretty much, well, info, and saying that Sportsmaster is behind this, about the Cobra formula. Basically, they're confused, and they say, we took down the Cobra Venom. Basically, they said that they alterated it and made it into some sort of, well, plant powering type of, well, poison or some sort of serum. After that, out of nowhere, the signals are jammed, and basically the whole world gets in contact or gets a pretty much a message from the Injustice League. Pretty much Joker starts off, and pretty much they talk about how they pretty much well want to pretty much blackmail the government, and they're giving them thousands of dollars to pretty much just stop it, and that's what happens. They pretty much asked for $1,000, like a lot of money. I don't remember because I didn't write it down, but basically, pretty much the signals are jammed, and pretty much none of them can track it back to them. Pretty much we see that Robin tries to, and Robin rewinds the video, basically seeing and listing all of the villains here: Atomic Skull, Black Adam, Watson. I think Watson, I guess his name was. I don't really remember his name, but basically, Robin pretty much says that they're big runner-up heroes. They're big runner-up villains that can really well drop us. And pretty much him just saying that we're not really up on their level. But Batman kind of disagrees, saying that this is your mission and you have to do it. Basically, pretty much they're given a mission to find and go after the Injustice League and try to take them out, while the Justice League stands up, where the Justice League keeps their representation and pretty much saves the civilians on the street, taking down the plant monsters and aliens. Captain Atom and pretty much Centaura, doing all this. After this happens, we get switched to pretty much Joker using some sort of gloves to control the plants, and that pretty much cause more havoc. As we see pretty much the rest of the team in their hero costumes, Aang in this hero costume, basically, and them, getting ready. Pretty much Wally asks what's going on with the bag, and pretty much, Superboy, Alcalad says, Plan B. Basically, we see that pretty much, Megan feels sick because Bioship is getting hit with blasts from Vertigo. They, buffer, and they start to get, blinded out of, blinded out of camouflage mode. Out of nowhere, Black Adam attacks them and starts to sink the ship, trying to attack them. As he punches a hole through it, trying to attack them, Aang shoots them with a huge fire blast, and basically, they start to get out there. Aang uses his water bending to pretty much repel himself out of the water and make a water spear or some sort of water force field around him, pushing the water away so he can breathe. They all swim away, basically Aang passing by them because he's using the water to propel himself forward. And pretty much they get out of the water, and pretty much they start to walk into the forest. They see from afar that Bioship is getting taken down underwater by the plants and pretty much consumed. Pretty much we say that they all get hit from Vertigo's blast afterwards, and pretty much Aang is hit with the blast. Aang tries to fight back after Connor is rocked pretty much after Black Adam folds him. We see that Aqualad tries to go up against Vertigo and Black Adam, and tries to fight back. Pretty much we see that Aang uses his water manipulation and his water bending to make a huge wave tidal, basically washing over the whole fight. They all start to scatter, and that's when some of the heroes are caught and some just escape. Pretty much we get switched back to pretty much all around the world with the Justice League taking down more plants and creatures, trying to get them away from children, civilians, and just all around the world in general. As this is happening, we see pretty much out of nowhere, Robin, Aang, and Megan are the ones that escaped. Basically, we see that pretty much, We see that pretty much Megan and Robin have been captured, but Aang out of nowhere uses his fire manipulation to pretty much blast Gorilla down to the ground after he misses his shot from Megan, telepathically pretty much influencing him. Poison Ivy tries to go after Robin, but Robin dodges most of his attacks. Megan tries to get away from pretty much Gorilla and tries to pretty much get to the main operation of things, where Atomic Skull and Joker are running this whole business, trying to make more havoc. Basically, Joker causing more havoc on top of, just destroying cities on top of cities. Pretty much, as we get switched to Gotham, Batman tries to take down one of the plant creatures when he gets hit from the bat out of the Batwing. Basically, the Batwing exploding, and Batman jumping out of the Batwing. Pretty much, we see that Santara pretty much fights against the plant creature. Pretty much a scene that some civilians do get hurt, but pretty much some other villains do get saved. And basically, after we get switched away from the Justice League, we see pretty much Aqualad and the rest of the team that are captured basically are getting, sent or being taken back to their headquarters. We see when Robin and pretty much Aang are fighting against Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy tries to attack them, but Aang uses his fire manipulation to basically make a huge wave or a huge circle of fire, burning miles of plants from them. Basically, him using a huge spurt of pretty much fire, and pretty much that would make Bioship would come in clutch, basically knocking out or pretty much pushing the magic users that captured the rest of the team, basically letting them go. They would have gone up against the rest of the Injustice League, basically them fighting against them. Poison Ivy and Aqualad and Artemis would start the fight, basically them feeling like, they're naked because they don't have their weapons, and pretty much they're going up against a superpowered being. So yeah, Artemis is kind of, folded because, well, she isn't really a superpowered being like Aqualad. So basically, what happens is pretty much sorry guys, my dog. Pretty much we see that pretty much the team starts to go up against the members of the Injustice League. We see that Aqualad tries to go up against Vertigo, but Vertigo hits him with a blast, making him slow down and letting Black Adam pretty much just straight up pimp slap him away. Basically, we see that pretty much Poison Ivy senses something wrong and sees that Aqualad's planted a bunch of bombs, destroying the head tree that was doing all this, and pretty much most of all the other plants start to die all around the city or all around the world. As this is happening, we see that out of nowhere, out of the back of pretty much Poison Ivy's eye, or out of her vision, we see that Aang uses a fire blast or fire bending technique to basically just burn back pretty much, it was Poison Ivy, knocking her into the ground or knocking her into the pretty much swamp water. We see that Joker tries to fight. Pretty much we see that Aang starts to go up against Black Adam. He starts to use wind bending or air bending and basically starts to, use it to increase the wind pressure on his fist or increase the wind pressure on his hits. Basically increasing them by using the air around him to pretty much accelerate his arms to pretty much make kind of speedster type of punches. Pretty much he starts to punch and kick and just swiftly absolutely straight up manhandle this man's Black Adam. Black Adam eventually gets sick of it and shoots pretty much Aang with lightning, basically pushing him back. The rest of the team is shot with lightning from some sort of wizard, or pretty much is shot by lightning from the sorcerer. And basically, as this is happening, we see that Aang uses his ability to pretty much airbend, and pretty much uses his ability to airbend, basically shooting the sorcerer and pushing him back. We see that out of nowhere, Aqualad uses Bioship and pits on the helmet. Pretty much, Aang knows about the helmet and tries to stop Aqualad, telling him no, don't do it. But pretty much none of them can get to him in time, and he pits on the helmet. Pretty much, Aang watches from afar, the rest of the team watches, and Aqualad fights against the sorcerer, pretty much going toe to toe, blow to blow. Pretty much, when they're fighting, Joker tries to fight Robin, and pretty much when Joker's fighting Robin, Aang out of nowhere pretty much torpedoes himself into Joker's chest with air bending, knocking him cold out. After that, we see that Aang uses most of his air bending and water bending mainly because, he's in a swamp, and pretty much uses it to pretty much mobilize all the villains there, pretty much keeping them there and taking them out pretty quickly, keeping them down. As they're doing this, we see they eventually get the Wong. So sorry, guys. I had some sort of little mind seizure or something because I just couldn't talk. I just don't know why. But basically, after that, we see pretty much the episode goes similar the same. Pretty much the episode going very different. Now, in this version, Wally wouldn't have his arm broken because the fight would have not escalated at that point because pretty much Aang would use his powers. But pretty much after that, Aang would have lost control because Vertigo would have hit him with a blast. Pretty much the rest of the Justice League would have shown up right after the rest of the Injustice were let go and freed, and pretty much the rest of the Injustice League were pretty much taken out. Joker was apprehended and tied down to a tree as he was still knocked out by Batman, and the rest of the Justice League would have shown up going up against the Injustice League. As the Injustice League were there, pretty much the whole Justice League would have been there, and they would have said that it's over. Them knowing that they couldn't really go up against the Justice League. Basically, Joker, says another day. I don't want to wait another day. Pretty much, he uses his abilities to try to, he uses his abilities using plants or swarms underneath the swamp, releasing some sort of laughing gas toxin. He gets the dust punched out of his jawline, basically by Batman, and out of nowhere, Dr. Fate saves them all using his magic. Before that, Aang was going to use some of his air bending to try to push back the toxins. But basically, we see that they see all this, and pretty much they try to reason Dr. Fate into letting Aqualad go. Pretty much they eventually do succeed to this, and Aqualad is let go. Pretty much what happened is pretty much after that event, we see that the light is introduced, and all the members of the light are shown into the camera. Basically us seeing all of them. Ocean Master, Lex Luthor, Vandal Savage, was it Chaos God, Brain, a bunch of other heroes. A bunch of other villains. Sorry, guys. Cause I always did all of this. I just did it off the top of my tongue. But basically, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Because I'm not doing episode 15 just yet. Because I just don't want to mess that episode up. So episode 15 and 16 are going to be way better. And I'm going to actually think through and script that, actually. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. See you guys later. Bye. Deuces.